Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. So, in the United States, we've got a lot of things going on, just a wee bit. So, what we have currently is the election going on tomorrow. There's nothing that's going to happen this week that will affect the stock markets, the crypto market, greater than the US election, bar none. Like the world would have to explode. Thanos would have to come and snap his fingers. Excuse me, it would be that kind of thing. So that's going to be the biggest mover of this week. I don't care what anybody else says. That is the only mover this week. I don't care what other inflationary numbers come in. I don't care about any kind of news that drops. If you're a smart company, you drop no news this week. You drop absolutely none. You wait till next week. That's what you do, right? We did have some financial reporting. Riot Blockchain reported that they earned about $84.8 million in Q3 revenue due to hash rate, right? That's cool. That's revenue. But the net loss was $154.4 million. So yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. So what are they going to do? Well, with projections for future capacity adjusted due to facility delays, that's really what the problem is. So they're waiting for these facilities to come online so they can get back to making money. So they're not upset about that. However, as my big brother would say, I'm waiting for them to actually say, you know what, we're going to sell some crypto. Like that's what that says to me. We're going to sell a little bit of Bitcoin, so that we can operate more, more efficiently, all that good stuff, and make sure that everything gets online when it's supposed to, right? Because there have been delays. Hence, they did sell before. I'm expecting them to sell a little bit more now. Kraken had some serious regulatory problems in Australia. But guess what? They've overcome them. How do we know? Because they're now offering a whole suite of derivative services in Australia now. So that's a big deal. Wow, I had to repeat myself twice to get it right. Ugh, that's bad. Don't worry, I'll get better. It's early in the morning. I'm still a little tired, still getting the crack out my eyes, just saying. Oof. But there's a lot going on. It seems to be growing demand in Australia. What I also notice is that there is a big move by companies like Kraken, OKX, Coinbase that are really pushing internationally. Why is that? Well, if you ask me, it's going to be because the United States is fumbling the bag. That's why. With all of the regulatory uncertainty that we have going on right now, it is best for companies to open up revenue streams outside the United States. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. And so, I sit back and I take my notes on that and I kind of go, okay, I'm seeing. Yesterday I spoke about doing a retrospective book and releasing that like first quarter next year, like a retrospective on 2024. Because there's news that we forget about from week to week. So imagine what we've forgotten, that happened at the beginning of the year versus now. I asked the community yesterday during the Sunday roundup, hey, do you remember what Janet Yellen said? Crickets. I got crickets from a whole bunch of really smart, really knowledgeable people. Joaquin, where are you? And the idea was that, she said that it is better for the United States to have CBDC versus stablecoins. And that kind of flew under everybody's radar. I flew under everybody's radar, and I'm sitting back and I'm going, how did that fly under everybody's radar? And that's what I mean by we probably need a retrospective. Now, last week alone, I published about 57 articles in the crypto space. That's not including the articles about stocks, bonds, and everything else. Just crypto, 57 articles in 1 week. 57. Now, when you look at that, the truth is over the past 2-point-something years, we've published over 4,200 articles. Yeah. At Grow My Bag, we have over 4,200 articles that we've published. And so when I look back, when I do those Sunday roundups, that's a version of the retrospective. I'm looking backward to see what's going to affect us going forward. So over the coming week, I don't have to do a retrospective. Really, I want to remind everybody of what happened over the past week. But really, this week, it's all about the U.S. election. Singapore. Singapore's monetary authority is doubling, even tripling down on the idea that, hey, asset tokenization, we're all for it. We want to work with banks and crypto projects to actually get that done. Let's do this. Do you have any idea how big that is? Asset tokenization starting in Singapore? That's a huge region, and Singapore is a major financial hub. At the global level, that's a major financial hub. Big. So that's a big statement to make. Then you have, the head honchos over at Circle saying, hey, look, listen, guess what? We are going to go IPO at some point. We're absolutely going to do that. But you know what else we're doing? We're also looking at expanding, starting with Hong Kong. We really want to expand in Hong Kong. That ought to tell you something about the Asian market. That really ought to tell you something about the Asian market. It's not just growing. It's booming. It is absolutely booming. So when I look at these strategic moves, I'm not just able to see a week down the road. I'm able to see months down the road with things like this. That's not small. That's a very big deal. So I'm sitting back and I'm all for it. I'm like, oh yeah. So if you're paying attention to some of these companies, you might want to consider, what are the pin plays from those companies? Like Coinbase is publicly traded. I don't know about everybody else, but you should be paying attention to what these companies are doing. Circle's working on it. Circle is working on it. Because you're not going to make money off of, USDC. You're going to leverage USDC, and the USDC has a long way to go to catch up to USDT by Tether. Like they're not even 1/3 the size of Tether in the stablecoin space. They are the largest, asset-backed stablecoin. And Tether is the largest, algorithmic stablecoin. But still over 3 times the size of Circle. That's big. That's something to pay attention to. Last bit of news we have is the Ton network. This is pretty big news. This says that Ton is ready for the big leagues. It's already in the big leagues, but it was a rookie, right? Now they're saying, listen, we recognize that we're a rookie in that space. And so we're going to introduce a new governance model that's going to help us mature. The Society DAO. Whoa. The Society DAO is being introduced to strengthen decentralized governance and community-driven resource allocation, aiming to foster a competitive and resilient ecosystem. People ask me, what coins do I see doing well in the future? That's one of them. Ton is one of them. That's a big move. That's a big player move. They're saying we're in it for the long haul, not the short. I love that. Something else they did is they said, you know what? We're also going to make it easier for dApp developers to work on the Ton within the Ton ecosystem. We're going to launch Ton Studio, and they did. How's that? When I look at the maturity level of Ton over this span of time, what they're saying is we love those games and we love the idea of those games being launched on Ton. That's awesome. That's great. But you want to know what else we love? The idea that you can have other things built on Ton. Wow. So when I look at that platform, at that project, I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? They've earned their stripes. They're growing up. They understand that they had growing problems. But what they're really saying is not only do we deserve to be in the big leagues, but we're going to become a rock star in these big leagues or surrounded by all these other big players. I want you to think about this. To be in the top 25 coins out of hundreds of thousands in such a short period of time, no less, that's not a small thing. You don't do that by not saying to yourself, we can improve. Ton is doing that, which is why I'm paying attention. But you know what we should do now? That's right. We should get into the numbers. We should absolutely get into the numbers. Ooh, I did not open up. I thought I had it open, but I obviously did not. Let's see if I can open it up without disturbing the video. I did not have Excel open so we could see the GMB crypto tracker and the top 25 winners and losers, because there's a lot, in that bill. There you go. Let's bring it up over there. Alrighty, so let's start with the top 25 losers. So looking at the top 25 losers, it stops right here. Is there anybody here that I care about? Nope, not at all. None. You immediately drop and fall off the cliff, going all the way down to -2. So everybody's in between that. Let's go to the top 25 winners. Top 25 winners. Been hearing a lot of noise about grass. Don't know what it is. To me, it sounds like a meme coin, but it's been doing things. This GOAT is definitely a meme coin, up 12%, 43% off its all-time high, 0.72 GMBX factor. Interesting. Who else is up? That's it. Stops there. Everybody else is trading in between 5 and 5. I am going to keep an eye out for Doge and what it does, right? Because it's currently up 5. So I'll be paying attention to that over the next little bit. Eigenlayer, they had Justin, leave. And so Eigenlayer I was paying attention to, but not a big move. Everything was planned. XRP moving sideways, Helium moving sideways, Monero moving sideways. The same. Everything right now is just moving sideways. So that's something that we do pay attention to. Who's reporting this week? Is anybody reporting? Palantir is reporting this week. That's interesting. Constellation Energy is reporting. Marriott. That's travel news. So we're going to be paying attention to that. Realty Income. I actually used to consult them. They'll be reporting this week. Let's see. AIG, another big one. Fidelity. Wow. You've got a lot of companies reporting. Let's see. Let's go take a week kind of look. Qualcomm, ARM, those are big. Gilead Sciences, Mercado Libre, Palantir, like I said, Airbnb. There's going to be a lot of travel-related stuff going on this week. A lot of healthcare stuff. CVS is there, Marriott International. So there's a lot going on that we could be paying attention to that can kind of give us a taste of what's coming. Something else I want you to pay attention to is how much money are these companies making? When you talk about inflation, you're also talking about how much money these companies are making. You have to compare the two, right? So inflation went up. That's great. How much profit did these companies take? Was it egregious or was it, kind of within lines? Sometimes it's both. This week, we could say, what are the numbers this week? We get factory orders, okay, today. We get the trade deficit, ISM services tomorrow. S&P final U.S. services PMI. You get initial jobless claims on Thursday. Anything else? Interest rate decision on Thursday, and that's making people stop and go, yeah, I don't think there's going to be. I think they're going to not do anything this month. I think they're going to wait. The numbers from last week demand that they wait. Obviously, Tuesday, that's tomorrow. That's election day. Pay attention. Friday, November 8th. Yeah, not really much going on. Crypto Fear and Greed Index down to 70. Remember last week we hit as high as 77. DeFi Llama, we have about $93.74 billion in total value locked. And looky right here. Yeah. We're trading currently below the 200-day moving average. So I racked up at about around here is when I racked up on Bitcoin, right about there. That's when I racked up on Bitcoin. Why is that? Because I could. I was lucky enough to have enough money. I said, you know what? I don't know what I feel like doing. I'm just going to dump it into Bitcoin. Back when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to put that in the bank. I'm going to save it. I'm going to invest it. There's a difference. There's a big difference. Then when you look at the big board, Doge is at 15, SHIB is at 17, it's really at 16 and change. Ethereum is at 24, BTC is down at 68. Like I said, I was able to purchase some at 60 in the 67 range. Oh, excuse me, but I'd be using the Grow My Bag crypto tracker to help me determine which ones I'm going to buy. Definitely looking at Sui. Sui's in a great place. If you're looking at staking, DOT is another good one to look at. Cardano, I always look at Cardano, but it's down 2 cents. Wow, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But can it get back to 35 real quick? Yeah, I think so. So you could easily make about 10% off Cardano within the next month. Are you going to make 10% having that money in the bank? No, you're not. Don't lie, you're not. Solana at 164, yeah. Because after the elections, I think everything's going to explode. Because there'll be a certain level of surety. No matter who gets elected, there'll be a certain amount of surety that's introduced to the market. And that's what I'm paying attention to. So if you're looking at the numbers across the board, like I said, I'd be using the Grow My Bag crypto tracker to actually figure everything out and tell me which ones I can put my money into based on how I like to invest. So that's what I'd be doing. Anyway, everybody, I know this morning is a short show, but there's not a ton of news. Everybody's kind of waiting for tomorrow's elections. So there's your reasoning why. So that means you should be paying attention to things that happen today, because everything could go a little bit lower and give you and open up opportunities for you to make purchase and go from there. All right, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.